I didn't sleep. Not really. I closed my eyes, but the dark was no longer mine. It belonged to him now, to the scent he left behind in the stone, the echo of his breath that haunted the air even after he was gone. The silence wasn't empty. It throbbed. A pulse in the walls, in my veins, under my skin. And when the knock came, 3 slow, deliberate raps on the door, it didn't startle me. I was already awake, waiting, already undone. I should have told him to leave. Instead, I rose, slow, barefoot, every step across the cold stone floor a whisper of surrender I didn't want to name. The silk still clung to my wrists, loose now, but present, like a ghost of what had happened in that chamber, what I'd let happen. The door creaked open before I touched it. He was there. Eryx, cloaked in shadow and moonlight, eyes sharp, mouth unreadable. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then his gaze dropped, slowly, to my wrists. The silk, still knotted, still visible. My pulse kicked up as I reached to undo it, but his voice stopped me cold. Leave it. Just 2 words. But they landed like a command. No heat, no question. Just raw intention dressed in velvet. I froze. The fabric felt heavier suddenly, like chains reborn in thread. But I didn't take it off. I couldn't. Eryx stepped inside, closing the door behind him without looking. He didn't ask permission, didn't need to. He was permission, and defiance, and danger, wrapped in flesh and shadow. I shouldn't be here, he said quietly, but he didn't leave. The silence between us shifted, became breathless. I know, I said, but I didn't step back. He studied me, not just my body, though I felt the weight of that too, but me, my hesitation, my heat, my restraint fraying at the edges. I hated how much he saw, and I hated that it made me want to show him more. I came to warn you, he said, stepping closer. You've crossed a line. His voice was low, controlled, like if he let go of one syllable, the whole world might unravel with it. You crossed it, I whispered. His eyes flicked to mine, and something cracked between us, a tether snapping taut. I meant to, he said, but I didn't expect you to follow. My breath hitched. His hand lifted, but didn't touch me. He traced the air between us like it could remember my shape, like it already belonged to him. And maybe, in some terrible way, it did. You don't understand what you're doing, he said, voice dipping to something darker. What this will do. I stepped forward, just a fraction, and he breathed me in, like I was the thing he'd sworn to resist, like I was the sin he wanted to drown in. Then tell me, I said, or stop pretending. He didn't answer. Instead, he closed the final space between us. His fingers brushed my jaw, barely there. The touch was a promise and a threat. My skin burned beneath it, tension coiling low and hot in my belly. Still, I didn't flinch, didn't pull away. Nyra, just my name, spoken low, reverent, a kiss without lips. I shivered. That one sound shattered me more than chains ever could. He moved closer, his chest nearly brushing mine, breath ghosting over my lips, but he didn't kiss me. Not yet. He wanted me to ask, to break. The bastard. I licked my lips. His gaze followed the motion like a predator watching the tremble of prey. "You said I wanted to be undone," I murmured. "Maybe you're right." His fingers curved under my chin, lifting it slightly. Not forceful, not demanding, just there, and it made me feel fragile and fierce all at once. "You don't know what I'll do to you?" he said, almost like he was warning himself. My pulse stuttered. "Then do it." Something shifted in him. His eyes darkened, not just with lust, but something ancient and restrained. Magic, yes, but more than that, hunger, possession. His thumb brushed the corner of my mouth, feather light. My lips parted instinctively, breath hitching. He leaned in, so close I could feel the heat of his mouth, the scrape of air between us. But still, he didn't kiss me. Instead, he whispered against my lips, "You're playing with a fire that doesn't burn clean." "I don't want clean," I breathed. I wanted him, flawed, dark, consuming. He cursed under his breath, low and savage, and his hand finally slid to the back of my neck. I arched into the pressure. Not a kiss, not yet, but I was shaking. My whole body ached to close that breath of space. Then, like gravity finally claimed us both, he moved, and everything else fell away. His lips brushed mine. Not a kiss, not quite. More like a possession. A claiming without permission. A breath stolen just to prove he could. I gasped, sharp, instinctive. And in that sliver of vulnerability, he pressed in further, molding his mouth to mine with devastating slowness. No rush, no fury, just intent. Dark and patient and hungry. My knees wobbled, but his arm curled around my waist, anchoring me before I could fall. His grip wasn't gentle, it was firm, commanding. The kind that said, "You're not going anywhere." And God's help me, I didn't want to. The kiss deepened. Heat pooled low in my belly, molten and dangerous. My fingers found the edge of his shirt, fisting the fabric like it might stop the world from spinning. But it didn't. It only pulled him closer. Eryx's hand slid along my spine, fingers splaying at the base of my back. I arched into him, involuntarily, shamelessly, every inch of me screaming with the need to close the remaining gaps, to be touched where no one else ever had, to feel what it meant to be wanted like this. His mouth broke from mine just long enough to let me breathe, barely. Then his lips were at my jaw, then my throat, moving with maddening precision. I felt him taste me, like he wanted to memorize the shape of my pulse, like he needed it. "You don't even realize," he rasped against my skin, "what you've done to me." My breath caught, then "show me." He groaned, low and guttural, and suddenly I was against the wall, the stone cool at my back, a shocking contrast to the fire consuming everything else. His body caged me in, one hand braced above my head, the other still gripping my hip like he could tear through layers of silk and skin if I so much as begged. His mouth found mine again, harsher this time, desperate. The tension that had built between us for days, weeks, ignited, reckless and raw. But underneath it, something trembled. A question, a need not just to consume, but to understand. His kiss softened again, not in passion, but in weight, like he was asking, not taking, testing how far he could go before I disappeared. I didn't. I held him there, met him breath for breath, bruised for bruised, because I was done pretending I didn't want this. Done pretending I wasn't unraveling, thread by thread, beneath the pressure of his voice, his gaze, his damnable restraint. His forehead touched mine. He didn't speak, didn't need to. His silence said more than any vow. I felt him everywhere, in the shudder of my breath, the ache between my thighs, the wildfire licking up my spine. Eryx, I whispered. A prayer, a curse, a surrender. His name split the air between us like thunder, and something in him snapped. His mouth found mine again, brutal, claiming. His thigh pressed between mine, parting me, forcing me to feel how completely I already belonged to this moment. There was no going back. Not after this. Not after the way his hand slid up my ribcage, teasing the edge of something sacred. Not after the way my body arched, offered, begged, without a single word. You don't know what you're inviting, he said hoarsely, dragging his mouth along my collarbone, his breath a hot brand on my skin. I do, I said, and I still want it. His fingers tightened at my waist, and I felt the fracture, not in me, but in him. The restraint, the control, the leash he'd kept on himself this whole time. It slipped, just enough. His eyes met mine again, and what I saw there made the breath in my lungs shatter. Need, violence, worship, and something else. Something that terrified me more than all of it combined. Devotion, twisted, wild, irrevocable. He lowered his head again, but this time he didn't kiss me. He pressed his lips to the center of my throat. A beat, a vow, a threat. I didn't know which. Maybe it was all three. I will ruin you, he murmured against my skin. My pulse jumped beneath his mouth. Then do it. He stilled, completely. Then I felt his smile, dark, possessive, almost sad. You don't understand, he said. Once I do, there won't be anything left for anyone else. His hand slid to my cheek, thumb brushing under my eye with devastating tenderness. And God's help me, Nyra, neither will there be anything left of me. The air between us pulsed, thick with heat and something heavier, something neither of us dared name. He held my gaze like it was a tether, the only thing keeping him from splintering completely. And maybe I was. Maybe I'd become the thing he couldn't control, and that terrified him just as much as it thrilled me. Because for the first time, I saw him unravel. Not with violence, not with hunger, but with want, raw, reverent, dangerous want. His thumb swept beneath my bottom lip, slow, reverent, like he was memorizing the curve of it. His chest rose sharply and his voice came low, barely a breath. You don't get it, Nyra. This isn't just lust. This isn't just blood and fate and circumstance. He stepped back half a pace, like it cost him something. His hand fell away, leaving my skin cold in its absence. I felt the loss like a wound. This is me, he said, crossing a line I've never crossed. With anyone. The confession hit harder than any kiss could, because I could feel the truth of it vibrating in his words, in the ache between us that hadn't dulled, only deepened. I swallowed. My throat was tight. So then don't stop. He looked at me like I'd just shattered something sacred, or maybe built something new from the ruins. But instead of closing the distance again, he let the silence stretch. You think you're ready for what I am, he said, what this bond demands. But once I touch you with everything I am, I won't be able to let go, not even if you beg me to. I won't, I whispered. You might, he said, and the words weren't cruel, they were soft, terrifyingly so, and that will destroy us both. I stepped forward this time, slow, deliberate, like claiming each inch between us meant reclaiming something lost inside myself. I've been breaking since the moment you touched me, I said. So don't talk to me about destruction. It's already begun. He closed his eyes like the words physically hit him. Then he exhaled, long, controlled, cracked. His eyes opened again, and they burned, not with fury, but something quieter, sadder, still laced with desire, but tethered now to restraint. This is the last time I pull back, he said, his voice low, dangerous. But when I come for you next, it won't be like this. It won't be gentle or patient or clothed in hesitation. He stepped forward, cupping my jaw with both hands now, holding me in place like I was something fragile and volatile all at once. It will be everything, he breathed, and it will leave nothing untouched. I didn't speak. I couldn't. Because I wanted it, that future, that threat, more than I'd ever wanted anything. But something in me also feared it, the way a flame fears oxygen, craving the burn even as it consumes. His lips hovered just over mine. Say the word, Nyra, and I'll take it all. I closed my eyes, trembling, wanting, drowning, but I didn't say it, not yet. And neither did he. Instead, he stepped back, one brutal inch at a time, and turned away, leaving me scorched, aching and ruined in the echo of a touch I'd never forget. And still, somehow, not enough. Never enough.